Dubai at the Jumeirah English Speaking School at the Jest Summit today. We're joined online by some people. If you can look behind me, we've got some people here in the audience as well. Say hello. Brilliant stuff. So, you couldn't see them, I don't think, actually. Do you want to wave again? Fantastic. So, if you just move that for start, we're going to present in alphabetical order by first name. Kathy, could you just say a little hello and introduce yourself, please?
Hi guys, I'm Kathy Hunt and I work at the beautiful St Hilda's School on the Gold Coast in Australia, and out of my own business I head up.
Brilliant stuff, thank you very much. And just take a second to introduce Chris.
Hi guys, I work at Watford Church Primary School in South Lincolnshire. I'm an ADE and we're also an Apple Regional Training Centre.
Brilliant stuff, thank you very much, Chris. And then we've got John, and I'll just present you to everyone. Over to you, John.
Okay, so I'm John Hart. I work in European School of Helsinki. Right now, I'm at an Apple event in Stockholm. I'm an AD.
Brilliant stuff, thank you very much, John. And where's Kieran? He's around somewhere. Oh, do you want to run over and come and introduce yourself, mate? So if I just come back to us and what have you, just going to come and sit yourself here and say hello to everyone, all that sort of thing.
Hello, I'm Kieran. I'm from Ireland and I've lived in Dubai for the last 18 years and just run up the stairs and I'm really exhausted now.
Brilliant stuff. Thank you very much, Kieran. Right, so we're going to start the AppShareLive today. We're going to do things in first name order. So, Kathy, that means that you're up first. People who are tuning in, Chris and John, could you just mute your mic? Brilliant stuff, well done, thank you. And what I'll do is I'll hand things over to you, Kathy, and you'll have 6 or so minutes to present. So, whenever you're ready to do so, over to you.
Well, you know, I'm always ready to talk about the beautiful work that our students are doing. So, it's really exciting today to be able to give you a presentation that I've kind of remixed from things that I've shown really recently at ISTE and through the AD Institute. So you should have that presentation up there now. Have you got that one?
Yep.
Fantastic. Well, let's get this party started, hey? I've added a lot of apps and practical points throughout, and it's going to come pretty hard and fast at you. So hold on to those questions to the end and know that when we do get to the end, I'll have an entire apps list there on that last slide for you. So no panicking, people, okay? Because this presentation is pretty fast. I've got a lot of great things to show you that are happening around the world that kind of mash up messy ideas and making. And I'm really excited to say that I'm an art teacher who gets to do this every single day. And a lot of what I do starts with the camera, because from this launching point, I really feel we can support students to develop their ability to communicate and create with confidence. And so what you're seeing here is students using their live camera to construct new compositions. They're zooming and cropping, and visual feedback about those decisions is instantly available to them on screen. And I love to use the camera roll as they develop their thinking. Perhaps the photo library space is actually the most underutilized app. It's certainly a great place for reflection, because through the lens, students actually see their work and their world really differently. And new ideas abound that they can act upon instantly, as I said. And this timely aspect to the technology is actually critical for creativity. Across programs I develop, that connected camera is often busy collecting imagery. And these starting points become original works. And as we know as educators, no matter what subject area we're teaching in, strategies to support students to get started are incredibly valuable. So here we're using an app that generates reflections, and stunning sections from a mural have been repeated, reworked, and extended. And the digital drawings produced from this process became an experiment across which we produced embossed tiles, delicate and detailed relief sculptures and rubbing plates, all on a 3D printer, which is a pretty wicked workflow. And in this example of another workflow, we've got patterns created in apps from real objects that become starting points for mandalas we then paint on canvas. And just to kind of show you the diversity of opportunities provided by just one app, when you've got a kind of considered, flexible and responsive lesson design, little hands and big minds created these complex works on paper. And you can see again that, yeah, they began digitally on iPads, but that was just the beginning. Those on-screen starting points allow the students to print and work out and over and build on their imagery with fold and flares. So origami meeting watercolor, right? It's pretty exciting. These girls have been exploring mathematical concepts such as radial symmetry, works that began on a device but now spin in the wind or pop out of a fractal flower garden that we've built. And really we're representing learning across subject areas here. When you see something like this, you're seeing the same kaleidoscopic app, but this time it's being used as a design tool, with students working from the two-dimensional and building right on out with physical materials. Our digital designs are actually sort of exploding off the screen and providing an entry point for learners who super sadly might believe that their ability to create is limited by their ability to draw realistically or from life. We want them to think big about the possibilities. I mean, I could never have imagined that in my career I'd be making mandalas in apps and then printing those things on the laser cutter in a whole variety of projects. Pretty exciting stuff when you see that design work being done in an app like Assembly. Here's the video that this app actually produces for the students so that together we can reflect on their design thinking. And we've used that same app, again, thinking about what we can do with these tools to create logos and emojis and so much more. And I think that sometimes using physical materials and taking them into the digital realm actually brings magic to making. And it's a fluid journey between apps and hands-on materials that connects kids to curriculum. I know we talk a lot about workflows between apps, but I'm really excited about connecting play and experience and those tactile materials, of course. I know that our students can improve their ability to visualize three-dimensional form. Here you're seeing creatures being designed in the Foldify app on iPad, and we're printing them out on paper as nets and constructing them. And we've made stop motion characters, cityscapes, an entire grocery store with tactile materials, collaboration, creativity in this app. And we've created a lot of monsters. If you follow me on social media, you'll see these little guys all over the place. We make them out of ink and clay and all kinds of digital tools. And it's not that one product or process ever has more value than the other. The learning opportunities are just different. We can't actually deny that the tool gives us a diversity of possible experiences. So even though there is a mantra in EdTech about the idea that it isn't the tool, certainly in the creative space, a tool can be an inspirational kind of conduit towards learning. So have a look at this little guy. Don't you just want to make a monster yourself? Of course you do. The kids that produced this one were 7 years old, and they're exploring the concept of habitat when they made Harriet and this wonderful nest for her. The fabulous Daily Monsters app took them way outside the screen, and the point is, it's that connected camera, a mobile device, so it's get up, get out, and get creating. And perhaps do all those things all at once. I mean, these grade 1 students here are using augmented reality to build informative imagery. And they're learning about animal classification as they collect close-ups of creature features and improve their camera skills at the same time. Here's some Archimboldo style portraits I've shown a lot, where we're creating things from digital food and thinking about not just the Renaissance, but layers, size, shape, scale. There's so much here. And meeting the students where they're at can reveal some amazing entry points for learning too. So I never shy away from the selfie. Selfies here are being used for complex and creative work as printouts become cutouts, and we remix and reconstruct to produce collages. What's so empowering about this is that students are engaging with the creative process, and the success of each image doesn't rely on the success of the step before. And that's a really important point for creative confidence. This image might need some explanation too. Here you're seeing students using their own faces to become a Picasso portrait, and grade 2s are using incredible GIFs to merge drawings and paintings with animations. What about our middle schoolers? They're doing things like using Google Earth as starting points for investigations of abstraction. And of course, one of my signature moves is developing coding work with maths and spheroballs and light painting all kind of mashed up as one. So I told you it was going to be a pretty exciting adventure. So I just wanted to leave you with a couple of beautiful little comments from students who are actually engaging with this kind of workflow. So here they come in their own beautiful little voices.
I see a quiz. This is so like Look at the writing. No, this is the color. That's better. Right? So, who can tell who's mine? Can anybody know? Yeah, the one with the bag. Mercy's. Can anybody tell who's mine?
It feels like a life's work sometimes when I do these really quick snapshots and sort of hit you with 5 minutes of all of that. And when I look back, you know, all of the long nights and the work that goes into it is so worthwhile. When you hear those little voices, you know it's worth it. So if you're interested in following up on any of these ideas and getting more information, you just go to my website, which is iPad Art Room. And there's also these 2 free books there available on the homepage that explore more. And all of the apps that you saw are here. So that's the end, people. Thank you so much.
Brilliant stuff.
That was a lot in 6 minutes, wasn't it? Like I went hard.
That was quite a lot of stuff there, Kathy. Anybody here in the audience got any questions about anything for Kathy at all? Amazing, says Simon at the back.
Oh.
Question there for Mr. Rees. I really like the fact that you've mixed the physical world with digital world. What do you find the biggest challenges when you're doing that and trying to get staff on board with that process?
So I just said, what are the biggest challenges with?
Yeah, so sort of challenges of bringing sort of the physical and the digital together. How do you overcome any challenges with that sort of work you might sort of encounter with staff that you work with?
Yeah, I think the mindset of really growing the idea that the devices are mobile and that they can exist next to water and paint pots and that sort of thing is still something that's a challenge. But I'm really happy to report that in the schools that I work with around the world, that is changing. And so I think it's really important that we model the fact that our devices can be taken out on location. We can use them not just in one-to-one environments, but very much as collaborative tools. And I think that perhaps as teachers, the overarching vision for education that's about allowing our students to have more control and to be involved in cross-curricular programs has to be something that we follow at the same time as these sorts of initiatives.
Brilliant, thank you very much. Was there anything from anybody else? Okay, listen, I don't know, I sort of spend quite a lot of time sort of hunting out apps and what have you for teaching and learning and what have you. I don't know how you find the time to find so many, and it's always nice for me to sort of get a few surprises and what have you. A few surprises as well. There's some new apps for me in there as well. So thank you ever so much for joining us, Kathy. I'm really, really stoked, as you would say, to have you join us. Thank you so, so much. Can I have a round of applause, please, for Kathy? Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to get my literacy right this time. So next up will not be Kieran, it'll be Chris. If you're doing your proper alphabetical. Chris, are you ready? You might
yes, ready. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to present you to everyone. So we can see you on the big screen here, and you are live to the world. So I'm just going to close this bit here, and it's over to you in your 6-ish minutes. Start now.
Okay, thanks. I'm going to show you 2 little apps this morning that we use at our school to help with visualization of shape. The background to that is that I don't know how many of you know, but in the UK in 2014, a new national curriculum was introduced. And there was a lot more emphasis placed on things like number and the use of number, and shape kind of got the amount of shape we needed to cover kind of got squashed down a bit. So when we cover shape with our children, we try and look at how we visualize shape initially and give the children lots of opportunities to handle shapes and look at nets as well. So what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to share my screen. Is that working? Yeah, fantastic. There we go. Okay, so the first app I'm going to show you this morning is called 3D Shapes by the Digital Learning Library. And all this allows you to do is you just have a selection of shapes that the children can have a look at and manipulate. They can spin in 3D space. They can have a look at them. You can hide the name of the shape. So for Key Stage 1 children, they have to guess what the shape is called first. So this one is a long tubey thing. Oh no, it's a cylinder. And if we look at the cube, we can spin the shape. We've also got some options down here to take the faces away so they can actually start building an idea of what the shape looks like in 3 dimensions. So we can move the shape around and we can highlight specific faces and move that around too, and have a look. We can then see the net of the shape. And this is where it becomes really quite cool, because if you highlight a face on the net, it highlights on the shape as well. So we can start talking about positions of faces in the net with the children. We can also change all the possible nets that you can make for that shape. And as you see, the selected faces change as well. Now, we find something like this really powerful because children can actually manipulate the net, they can investigate in their own way, and they've got a really good opportunity to move the shapes around. Now, these are just basic shapes. The sphere always really confuses them because they don't understand why they can't find a net for it. And the net you can't generate for the sphere because obviously it doesn't have one. But they love exploring that kind of thing. As we move into Key Stage 2, and we get towards the top end of the school, we like using this app. Now, this app is called Shapes. It does cost a little bit, about £2.20, I think, but well worth every penny. It's called Shapes, Learn, Teach, Explore. And the minute you launch the app, you get to select different categories of shapes. So we can look at pyramids, platonic solids. We can look at solids of revolution, which I think is a great name for cylinders and shapes like that. If we have a look at prisms, though, you can then select different prisms, all the different shapes that the children are ever likely to encounter. We'll just have a look at a cube for now. So now we've got the same options again. You can manipulate the cube in 3D space. You can see the little slider up the side of the screen. If I slide my finger up, it unfolds the shape into its net. So we've got the net of the shape unfolded. And again, if I slide my finger down, it folds the shape back up again. Now we've got the same options we had here with the other app, but these are slightly more detailed. We tap faces, you can see all the different faces of the shape. If we tap edges, it brings the edge up, and it brings the vertices up. Now this is actually really good. We like this because it models correct mathematical vocabulary. We're talking about vertices, we're talking about faces and edges. We can get rid of the faces completely, so we can just have the shape in its edges and vertices. But we can also change the net of the shape. And if we come to the change option here, we get all the different nets that will make a cube. Some that won't, we'll come back in a minute. Tap this one, and if we unfold it again, it unfolds the shape. So what I'll do is I'll put the faces back, and then you can see how the different nets fold up to make a cube. So that's that net, and the children can just have fun exploring which nets make cubes, which ones don't, and all the different shapes. The thing we really like, though, is if we tap the create option here, the shape gets taken apart, and the children can then drag the faces into position to try and make the shape themselves. So we can put the faces click on when we drag them up. You're about to see how good my shape knowledge is. So what the app will now do, it will now render the creation of that net, even though you can probably tell it won't make it. If we fold it up, it's made a box with a hole. We can have a conversation with the children. Well, what bit did you get wrong? How did you know it wasn't going to make a cube? What did you position where? And we can go through the stages of the fold and highlight the fact that, oh, well, actually, it's that bit there. And we can tap restart, back start, and then a chance. The next good bit about it is, if we've got the ability to print nets, which our children can from their iPads, we can actually print that net off that we've made and give the children the physical opportunity to build that shape. So we're not just restricting the children to the digital domain and visualizing and moving the shapes around. Once we've made our own nets, we can print them off and fold them up and try them. We even get the option to add little glue tabs to the net if we want to, or we can have it blank so we can make things such as dance cubes or dice or anything like that. Now I showed you that cube, but it actually with a different variety of shape. The first one the children look for are the cylinders and the spheres. For the simple reason they want to see them unfold. Well, this does actually unfold the sphere. So you have a really good conversation with the children about, well, what shape are those? How does that make a sphere? Why can't we change the net? And they like looking at the cylinder as well, because the net for this is quite something. And there we've got the divide sign, which they always like to point out. I should have said to you earlier as well, we can also colour code each of the faces. That's a bad example to show you because all the faces are linked on that one. If we look on the prisms, we can actually colour code different faces on the shape, and you can get the children to predict where those faces will be when you unfold the net, or vice versa. Do it on the net and then fold the shape up. So those are just two of the apps that we use to visualize shape. We find this really helps because children often struggle to see a net and to see how it folds up to make a shape. And we can do it in reverse here. We can really have some conversations with the children about shape. And that, I don't know if that was even anything.
That's brilliant. Thank you very much indeed, Chris. Thank you. Can I round of applause for Chris? Thank you. Anybody have any questions for Chris?
Any questions? On the Shapes Learn Teach Explore, when you were doing the printable nets, on the printable net there's QR code at the top right hand corner. What does that lead to?
That's a very good question, actually. I don't know. We've never really looked at that. That's a very good question. I would imagine.
Honesty is the best policy, Chris.
Yeah, I don't know. Sorry, I don't know. Something I'll have a look at. We'll have to investigate.
It isn't there currently. However, I'm pretty sure if you follow Chris on Twitter, he'll find out in the next few minutes or so, and he'll tweet that. Would you better tweet that for us, Chris, so you can find out?
What's that of what the QR code does?
Can you find that out? Can you find that out and tweet it out to us?
Yeah, can do. Yeah, sure.
Brilliant stuff. If you mention me, I'll give that to the audience, or you can tell us in a minute yourself.
Yeah.
All right. Brilliant stuff. Thank you very much. Any more questions? One more? Can you give us the name of the app again, please, Chris?
Yeah, it's called Shapes Learn, Create, Explore.
And if you go on Twitter, look on the Jess Summit hashtag, somebody's tweeted the name of the app and the link. That's where you can download it as well. Brilliant stuff. Right, well, thank you very much indeed, Chris. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So next up, we have somebody here in the audience with us. So Kieran, do you want to come and grab a seat where I am now so people watching can see you, and then you can present as well. I'll just turn it over onto here. Yeah. We can say hello for the first few seconds, if that's all right. Present to everyone. Yeah, have you done the... Hello. So Kieran's going to showcase, I'll let him tell you actually. He's going to screen share and go to entire screen. One of the people, so John or Chris or Kathy, can you just tell me, can you see Kieran's iPad screen?
Yep, I can.
Brilliant. Okay, so over to you.
Thanks very much. I don't know if the microphone's working. Doesn't seem to be. As well.
Oh, hello. Okay, great.
Hi, everyone. Okay, I found out about this at 10 o'clock.
So, yes,
so here we go.
So Kieran just jumped in with that very little tools. A true professional.
Thanks very much. Oh yeah, build it up even more. Okay, so I'm going to show you a show me. I see some familiar faces in the room, so I'm sure you've seen this before if you've seen me do a show. All right, so I've fallen back on one of my favorite apps. So the question quite often is, how do we manage workflow? How do I get work into students' hands digitally, and how do I get the work back from students? If you're in our session this morning, we showed you iTunes U, and I would recommend iTunes U for older students, perhaps high school, secondary school. Showbie I like as an upper elementary school or upper primary school type app for managing workflow. Getting resources into students' hands and sending them back to you with their work. Okay. So what I've got here is, and I'm not going to go into too much detail, I've got my Shobi account here. You can see my name up there. I'm also the digital integration leader at Bachelor School for Boys, and I'm signed into everybody's classrooms in the school as well. So on my, this is my personal iPad, on my work iPad, my iPad is going all day long, boom, boom, boom. The students added this, the teachers added that. I can actually see what's happening digitally in classrooms and almost remotely review what's happening in lessons, so observe lessons have been in space as well. So what I've done very, very quickly here is I've created a little class called Jess Summit, and when I go in there, I've got a shared folder. I've got an assignment called Getting to Know Shobi. This is a copy of an activity I usually do with Shobi. So there's a shared folder here, and when students sign into the Shobi using this account, and it's free for them to sign in, they don't need an email address or anything like that too, so it's quite easy. They just create an account with their name, create a username, create a password. They put in that code there, P738L, and they automatically get everything that's in my shared folder up there. So you can see there are 6 resources in the shared folder there, and everything gets automatically sent to everyone. So there's nobody who has the photocopier, folding and printing and so on. So I'm going to, as you can see here, I've got a picture from my camera roll, so don't mind. Again, if I want to put in a picture of you guys, smile, pretend you're awake, use the photo, and that's good. You good there? So it gets uploaded and automatically goes into the shared folder and immediately to every single student that's signed into the class. And they can start working on that photo and annotating and so on. So I've got, as you can see, I've got some PowerPoints in there, some an Excel file, video, did you know 2028, what it would be like, and so on, or will be like. And I've got a PDF document here that I can just play around with called Show the Activities. So let me show you what the workflow is. So I've sent this out to students and I'm asking them to work on it. Now, at the top of the screen, you can see plenty of tools that students can use. So there's the pen tool, and again, usually when I do this with teaching teams, I ask people to draw a picture of themselves. Okay? At the moment, we're pretty much in the substitution level of using technology. It's the old way of pen and paper, and I'm doing more or less the same thing. It's pretty easy to be photocopied sheet with a marker or a pencil. There's nothing much different happening here. So it's pretty much at the substitution level. If I tap the pen, I've got all the colors and so on and so forth. If I move to the next page in this document, for example, it could be a geography activity. And using the pen, again, students could zoom in and annotate and choose a flag there, for example, choose the Twitter. And that's the map of our flag for Belgium. And Belgium's over there. Okay, so I've done pretty well there. And the great thing about this is I can go in as a teacher and I can start annotating and marking this as well. So the student gets my comments and they can see the homework as well. They can't really use whatever comments you put in. If I move on to the next activity, this is again just a markup activity. But what I've done here is I've taken this document and this is a map of Belgium. My geography is really good today. So we've got the digestive system here, but what I've done is I've taken this document and I've just written over what should be there. Okay? So students would get it like this. They annotate it using perhaps this comment tool here. So that I'm on the next blue one toolbar at the top. And again, they would label this document, if I can spell it out correctly, and they could move that around the document. So start labeling the document. They can also do it with this T tool, text tool here as well. And my spellings, I know this is the esophagus. My spelling of esophagus is not great, so I'm going to use Siri to help me. Esophagus. Thank you, Siri. And in that box. All right, so esophagus is there. If I take a pen tool, you can actually see esophagus is misspelled in this document. So again, I can label this document. Okay. But my favorite bit, and this is where it takes Shobi from the substitution, more or less the same activity as pen and paper, to an augmentation style activity. I'll skip that one. So this is a speaking and listening exercise, right? So choose one of these activities and speak about it. Now again, in class, it could be you talk to your partner, where's the record? There's no record of that. And they could be talking about what happened in the football game last night for all you know, really in a large classroom. So what's great here is the speaking tool. So if I choose you see the blue highlighted tool at the top, if I choose that now, box, a voice recorder. Now I can start recording everything I'm saying right now. It gets recorded in here at the moment. Show me free, I think you get 30 seconds. With Show me pro, you get more than 30 seconds, unlimited time. And when I press stop, press save, that gets uploaded. And now that's part of the document. And I can move that around. Perhaps I was talking about when I ran the business document with dentist. I can put it wherever I want in the document. What's really nice about this is you can get students standing up, leaving their iPad on the table, and moving around to each other's iPads and leaving voice comments and peer feedback and so on and so forth as well. As well as for English, we've got 100% English as second language learners from National School for Boys. When we leave written feedback, quite often it doesn't get any attention because students aren't into it. So this is a great way of leaving feedback for ESL learners or learning support learners as well. Hear what you think. And they can respond as well with an audio comment or an audio as well. On the top right hand side again, if I want to add this to a profile or portfolio, we can tap the star there and add it to a portfolio. There's also options to add parents in, so parents get to see their own child and what their own child is working in as well. It's got unlimited storage, and it's just one of my favorite workflow tools for the classroom for the Thank you very much.
Any questions for Kieran?
Please don't start it.
Answer your question. The QR code takes you to the PowerPoint notes. Chris is how it goes, so it's a different. Okay.
The version that you were drawing on today, that was one that was in your folder of documents.
Yeah.
Is that the one that one student would have been able to annotate, or would all the students be able to annotate on that version?
Great question. So that one that I was annotating is the master. So whatever I put there automatically goes to everybody in the class.
But if somebody annotates on that master, will everyone else see the annotation?
Only a teacher can annotate the master. So, and you can invite teachers in as well, so you can have co-collaborators on lessons, and it's really great as a collaboration tool for teachers as well. But what students would have here, if I go into one of the other classes, for example, 6P Marriage, great. We've got some archive classes here, and you can see she's got ancient Greeks here, in shared folder she's got one document, with all those students, she's got one document in there, and all those students got exactly the same document, and then some more because they've had more as well. So it's whatever you edit in the shared folder, everybody needs it. Yeah, but you can go into individual student folders and add the voice notes for individuals. Sorry.
So you say that all students have the same document, but is the document different when they annotate it themselves?
Yes, exactly, yeah. So nobody else gets to see their annotations on their own. Just as if they were working in a workbook.
It handles the workflow of giving out documents really, really well. So Kieran put that into the shared documents folder. Yeah, that then just sort of drives down into each of the children's different personal folders. And what happens is when Kieran makes any changes, that then goes into their folders. But because the image goes to their folders, when they work in their folder, their own personal folder, what annotations they make reside there rather than being able to be seen by their peers.
Do you worry about having evidence of this in the book? Do you QR code show me, or do you just, does the school worry about having evidence in the book for certain things like this?
That's a great question. We started our iPad classroom 5 years ago. And it was a real headache of where to work. We made some that's here, some that's there. We made some digital learning journals showing something like this that was out at the time. Usually with excellent, when it comes to portfolio style work, we make this a portfolio. So we take a photograph of any work they've done, or we make a video about work they've done in their books, or presentations they've made, so that it all gets centralized here. Especially when you start inviting parents and you make it the portfolio app, parents get really involved and start looking at the work and commenting on the work and so on. They arrive into parent sessions without the surprise of seeing the work for the first time, they've seen it all through after. So making this portfolio right here is. But again, as we said in our morning session here, it's not a case of it's the end of using the books on paper, it's just another tool to bring it all to one place. photographically.
Right, brilliant. Thank you very much indeed, Kieran. Can I round of applause again for Kieran? Thank you. Okay, so fantastic. Next up we have John, who's he was ready. Look, he was born ready. Was John? Look. Okay, so I'm going to present you to everyone. I'll click on you so we can see you nice and big here. And yeah, thank you so much for joining us, John. And I'm going to hand over to you now. Thank you.
No worries. Good. Pleased to be here. What I'm going to be sharing with you today is a platform called Seppo. It's a gamification platform. I believe, well, I know they've just been in the Middle East and they've met with Steve at Jess. And so for the Jess staff in the audience, I think this might be coming your way soon. So pay particular attention. I'm going to jump straight in and show what's coming. Just share my screen.
Okay, so we'll start with how to create a game. Once you've got your credentials and your accounts, and you're signed in as an instructor, you get a choice of choosing two different kinds of maps. The map I'm showing you now is a live map. You can choose any location, Google Maps. But once you've seen the location in this as demonstrated, you can scale the map and then just drag it into the place position you want it to be. One of the advantages of using these outside maps is that the players, when they are playing the game, they appear on the map as a dot, so they can themselves in relation to different activities. Also, the instructor is able to see them on their own device. The category choices that are being made now are more for people to be able to search for the game in the library. So where the languages were being chosen, that just tells people which language you've used. It's not the language interface, the user interface. That's available in Finnish, Swedish, English, and Arabic. So now we're ready for some of the activities. And to do that, with different map. This is an example of other kind of map.
Okay.
This is a static map.
John, can you hear me, mate?
Yep.
There you go. It's a little bit of lag, I think, on the video, but you seem to be on the map where I can see shells now. Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah, brilliant. Sorry, you carry on.
Okay.
Of a floor plan, for example, this is a floor plan of a hotel, and because this is just a picture, the GPS functionality isn't going to be there, so you're not going to see yourself as a spot on this map. Now I'm going to go ahead and click the highlighted icon and create an exercise. There are two different types of exercise. This one's going to be a multiple choice one. I've sped this up a bit, but here you can see I'm typing a question. There are some answer options I've put in there, and I've chosen the correct answer with the blue tick box there. You can choose how many points you want to offer for correct answers, and that's saved. And then you just need to drag the activity to the location where it needs to be completed. You don't have to have locations for each activity. You can use a flash exercise, which can be opened at any time by the instructor. And as you'll see later on, the players will get a message on their screen to tell them that this activity is open. They have to do it straight away. So you just toggle that switch to set as a flash exercise. And for any activity, you can ask the participants to take a postcard or a selfie on the spot. So this time we're going to use a creative exercise. Again, there's the question. You can choose to answer with images, video, or audio, and there's always text as one of the options. And then you can set a maximum amount of points for the exercise too.
I think I've gone again, John. Sorry.
Is it? Sorry.
I think I've gone again.
Gone again. What can you hear now?
So I can hear you fine, but there's nothing actually happening on the video.
You can't see the screen.
We can see a screen,
yeah,
but there's no movement or anything. You're talking about things that aren't changing on the screen.
Okay, what? Can you see my screen here now?
Yeah.
And now when I come back into here, how's that?
You see, yeah. It doesn't seem to be sort of following along. What we're seeing on the screen, on the video, don't seem to match up with what you're saying.
Ah, okay. Okay. I don't know what how to continue with this. Let me just talk over the top of this. I'll mute that down. So here, what you can see on this map, there are the different activities here. If I play this on, I'll try and talk over the top. I had it kind of pre-recorded. So now I'm going to show what it looks like for the players and how they can join the game. How's this going now, Mark? Is it better?
Yeah.
Better for you, Mark?
Yeah.
No, I'm going to carry on. Plow ahead. So how players join the game, they can enter a PIN code that's highlighted here, or the teacher can pre-arrange to set up the team names and they can log in with one of those. So here I'm going to show, this is what the players can see when they're playing the game. You can see the different activities there. They're going to navigate to the place where the activity is, and here, opening the exercise, they make their choice and they send.
Found.
And there you can see they've got their points for the exercise. Because it was multiple choice exercise, they get the answer automatically. Here, back as a teacher, I can see the different exercises that I've got. I can see there's 6 answers there that I need to grade. So these are for the creative exercises. So here's one answer that I've had. I'm not happy with that answer. I think that the child or the user has to go back and redo it again, so I can ask them to do that. Again here, this is a different kind of creative exercise. I ask people to run up the stairs, time themselves doing it so they can take the video. That gets sent through and the instructor can comment on it straight away. Next thing is to open that flash exercise. So earlier on I made the flash exercise, and this is one that when it's open, people can, it comes straight up onto the screen and people can have to do it there. It doesn't matter where they are, so it's not location based. Here you can see they needed to go and find how many stars the hotel has, but the actual exercise you're going to see here is the one that I set during the ADE Institute, and lots of people had Apple Watches. So they had to see what kind of a pulse rate they could get. So there's yourself, Mark, with your pulse rate of 133. And then you could do this in a plenary session afterwards, show all the different activities there, how people have done, and then give the grade, the 25 points for the winner here.
All right, John. I'm going to stop you there if that's all right, because it's not going through again.
Sorry, Mark.
Sorry, I'm just going to take a moment because I know what we haven't seen.
Okay.
So I'll just explain to the audience what they haven't seen, if that's all right, for a second.
Yep.
Thanks. Round of applause, please, for John. Thank you. So Sentiment is a really exciting tool. What we sort of missed there was that you can use the tool to zoom in on any location. Okay, and so what you can then do, if you use sort of gaming tools like Kahoots, where the kids will go to a certain website, okay, and they'll log in with a code. Okay, this is like Pokemon Go does Kahoots. All right, so you will zoom in on your school, the area where the kids do their sort of treasure hunts and what have you. You'll set different learning points around the place. That's what you were trying to do with the map and what have you. And you can set different activities and exercises for the kids to do when they get there. So you can talk about my pulse. So one of the activities I did when I was there was to get my heart rate up. Okay? And so I went up and watched my heart rate up, took a screenshot of my watch, and then pinging that through from my watch to the phone on there. Boom. But there's also elements of AFLE in there as well. It's location based. So as the children do the quiz, they have to go to the location in order to find the answers to the questions. Okay, it's a really exciting tool, and as Dr. Steve said, do you want to add anything into that sort of thing? His mic's not working, so we'll leave Steve for now. All right, but look, that's essentially it. Okay, if you go onto the website seppo.io, seppo.io, you can sign up for a free trial, what have you, for a bit. And John, who's joining, Jonnyade, is always happy to take questions because he's much more of an expert on it than I am. So that's it. Were there any questions about it that we can put to John? Any questions about it? Simon at the back.
No, I do feel like thank you for hosting.
Hey, John. I just had a look on the website and it's on shop. It seems quite expensive to buy.
Could you repeat that?
Someone says it's a bit expensive to buy.
It's
So a lot of educational apps which retail very cheaply.
again, I'm struggling to hear Mark.
Yeah, so he said that he thinks it's quite expensive when you compare it to how much other apps might cost.
Yeah, it's well, it's a license for a teacher is 90 euros, I think, and they do have larger schools like yes, I think they can do it on a per pupil basis as well. So I think it can work out more economical to do it that way. But I'm sure if you speak to the people at SEPO, they might be able to do something for you.
I will say as well, if there's no commercial interest for John in SEPO, okay, he's someone who's, like Steve found with Kickstarter earlier on, with block tools and what have you, there's very much support from it, and he's trying it out and showing it us today.
Is there a free demo?
Yeah, free demo.
On the homepage.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, there'll be if you contact the people at SEPO, Rico, he was a teacher, so he's a teacherpreneur now, starting this up. Personally, I haven't found anything that's quite like it. I really, it's a shame it looked like what I was trying to share. It wasn't coming through so well to you, but I've used it for like maths trails in school. They're working on a offline version, so you don't have to have the internet access to be able to play the game. So it will cache the answers, and then when the kids come back to an area where they've got Wi-Fi, they'll be able to send the answers through then. I think that's a really good thing for when you're out and about. It's really about taking these mobile devices we've got and making them mobile.
The SEPO team were educators from here in UAE. There was a Finnish Minister for Education was over last week, meeting various members of the KTA and the Education Authority in Abu Dhabi. And the SEPO guys actually led the presentation of the Abu Dhabi Education Authority. Blew it away. They showed me they had a game math based around giving the tutor more different challenges at different places in the mall, so that students can go around. So those of you that have interest in teaching more, it's kind of half a mall and half history trip because it's got so much history embedded around the space doing it from the tutor, and they put challenges all these different places so the students will go to the different places and more rather than just stare at the elephant. Find out why the elephant was there and what that has to do with the story. Really fun.
Brilliant. Listen, thank you very much for taking the time to present, John. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Have a round of applause for John. Thank you. Okay, let's just ping things back here a little bit now. And so now up to present is me, but hopefully, can one of you, John, Chris or Kathy, can you just tell me, can you see, not yet, I'm not there yet. Can you see my iPad screen? 1 second. Yes, can you see my, no, not yet, hang on. I haven't done it yet, hang on. Okay, can you see my iPad screen now?
Yes, yeah.
Super job, brilliant. So listen, I want to share something with you that I'm very pleased to have access to for quite some time. It's recently become much more publicly available. And that's a free app called Google Expeditions. I was with a colleague, I think he was still here over lunch, and I was showing it to Tom Edge, I think it's right. And the guy was saying, oh, you can do this sort of thing, you can do something with Google Street View. Yes, you can. Okay, so Google Street View is really powerful. You can go to Google Street View, and I can go into here, and I can find images and what have you, and I can engage myself in sort of panoramic kind of scenarios like this. If I tap onto the compass icon at the top, now I look up, I can look around, I can do all this sort of stuff. And that's pretty wow for a free app on any device. All right, so you can do Google Maps, you can look at your house, okay, or you can get Google Street View on your mobile device and do this instead. What's ultra cool about this as well, is that if I come out of here now, if I tap onto the plus icon on the bottom right hand corner, I can create my own. Okay, so I've got a camera down the bottom, okay, like so, and I'm going to line up the dots like so, stay still, and I can keep going, and I can keep on going, making my own panorama, like so. I'll stop there, I'm not going to do the whole thing. I know you're waiting, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm not going to do the whole thing, but it's that easy to make your own. Okay, if you've got a bit of money spare, I've recently purchased, and somebody was using one of the VR sessions earlier. There's a camera you can get. There's a few varieties. I chose to buy one called the Ricoh Theta S. That's the only time I've seen one today. And the Ricoh Theta S camera, which I'm hoping is in the bag, okay, enables you to take a 360 image in one button press. Okay, so if you go onto a desktop hashtag and find one, you might find it difficult. But if you search for ICT Evangelist, maybe Ricoh, okay, you may find the 360 that I did this morning. And this camera here in my hand, I just press the one button on the front once, okay, and it'll do a 360 image of the room, just like that. I was at the mosque in Abu Dhabi, the Sheikh Zayed Mosque, the other day, and as you do, and I used it to record video. I press it once to record video mode, press it again to stop it, and it's got built-in Wi-Fi. Okay, so you can just transfer these things to your device, you can share those, and so forth and so on. If you see 360 videos on Facebook, yeah, something like this would have made. Okay, it's amazing. You know, it's great with cardboard or some of the VR viewer if you've got it, but you don't necessarily need it. But I'm going to focus not on those things. I want to show you, and I'm going quite quick, but we'll be able to do this dead quickly. I've got a few helpers in the audience who've already got Google Expeditions. If you haven't got it, download it quick on the App Store, if you want to, on Android or iOS, okay? And you go to the app, okay? And when you do so, okay, you can go in, and there's a few of you who've got the app already, but I'm going to go in not as an explorer, I'm going to be a guide. Okay, and as I go into this view here, you can see as I swipe through, there are literally, about 20, but there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of expeditions that you can take people on, okay, in your classroom in a very, very immersive way. I'll just take a moment to sort of say this. This app is free. Okay, so this app is free. So when you have your children in class, you might affect your planning if you do it tomorrow, okay? But next day, you'll find something on here that you can link through to your class. It's not just about history, it's not just about science. You know, there's so many things you can use with it. So what I'm going to do, take the A3 Explorers fan. So I'm going to take you on a trip, and we're going to go to the Sheikh Zayed Grand Mosque, which may be within the frame of reference. So as a teacher, okay, our view is different to that view of the children. Children basically get the whole screen to sort of look up and look around with and so forth and so on. Okay, so they can do all this sort of stuff that I'm doing now. I'm using my finger because I'm a teacher, I'm the guide. Okay, they can hold their devices up and look around and what have you. And what I can do as a teacher, so I can see the main courtyard at the bottom. Can you see that? I'm just going to come back a bit so that I'm not looking at the screen so much. Now, I can press into the main courtyard here, and I can swipe across. And as I do, it takes me to different places in the mosque. Currently, on the children's devices, it's still set to wait for the teacher, correct? Because what I need to do to start it is actually press the play button. So I'm going to go back outside to the main courtyard, and when I press play, as a teacher, I get some nice valuable prompts. And now that I've done that, hit play, what can you see on your iPads? As children, what can you see? You can see the mosque, you're looking around, you're joining me. And can you see all these faces on the screen? These are your devices. So let's say I want to teach you about the minarets. So I tap the minarets on the screen there. And can you see one arrow on the screen there? For a direction to look at the bit that I want you to look at. Yeah? And as a teacher, obviously I'm very knowledgeable about minarets, but what I also do, I'm not. Standing in the main courtyard, the tallest structure you'll see now, and those towering minarets. Did you know they stand at each of the four corners of the broadcast, so forth and so on. What about if we look at the courtyard floor? The courtyard floor looks slightly different from large marble mosaics. We're now going to take things a little bit differently, not by the main courtyard, but we'll take things inside the main prayer hall. And on the screens now you'll see that I've moved you to the main prayer hall, yes? And there you all look at the smiley faces and the rest of it. Does this seem difficult to do? No. Do you think it will have an impact on children in the classroom and engagement and learning and so forth and so on? Okay, so much you can do. So tomorrow, maybe when you go to your, when your children come in, say, we're going to go on a field trip, right? And they're like, oh, cool, you get a bus, right? But then you can go, yes, you're going to go to Abu Dhabi, but actually, what else are we going to do? And then they're going to fly to San Diego to go to the zoo. And that can be completed because I'm locked off the network. But there you go. Google expeditions. Any questions at all? So I think.
Yeah, thanks, Mark. This is something we're just getting into at the moment, and I was just speaking with our IT manager here as well. Mark, in terms of technical specs to make sure it works properly, specifically iOS 10, you need to Bonjour, what are the kind of requirements? Because I tried with a set of iPads recently, it didn't seem to that peer-to-peer network didn't seem to register.
Okay, so good question. Like Chris, I don't know the specifics. However, I have a fair amount of chance to play around with it with iOS since it released 2 weeks ago. Okay, so I've tried it with 15 7-year-olds. Okay, and their Wi-Fi wasn't very up to much, but I've got a little portable Wi-Fi that can carry up to 10 devices. Okay, now bear in mind it's about that high by about that big, yeah. Okay, and it worked fine just on that. Okay, and they were iPad 2s. Okay, iPad 2s on iOS 9, and it ran fine. Okay, what I would say to you is, try it first of all, use it. If you've got an iPad yourself, just like you have an iPhone, okay, try it at home, try it at school, and see what you can do. It should work absolutely fine. Okay, iPads, and compared to them today, having never been here before, Steve tested this to make sure that the AppShareLive doesn't work. I didn't test expeditions. Okay, but look, you just work straight away. So I don't know the full answer, but I would say I'm going to play. All right, any other questions at all? Well, in that case, can I ask you to give the presenters who've joined us from Australia, from England, and from Helsinki a big round of applause. For the people who are watching, you've dropped a few. For the people who are watching now, thank you very much for joining us. Massive thank you, Kathy. Massive thank you, Chris. Massive thank you, John. And that's going to go straight to YouTube as soon as a few moments after I press stop broadcast. Okay. But thank you so much for joining us. Thank you. Anything you want to say before we shoot off?
Thanks, Mark. Thanks for having me again.
That's all right, Chris. No problem. Thank you.
Yep. Cheers, Mark.
Cheers. Thank you. Thanks, Kathy. Okay. Well, in that case, it's bye from me and all these guys in Dubai. Thank you very much. Bye.